Yes, sociology is good. You know, and you make a lot of money with that too, so.
A lot of rich sociologists out there. I want you to hear their stories real quickly, and I want to ask both of them just real briefly to tell their story of when they started following Christ. Just.
I actually started following Christ when I was really young. I think a lot of times we think about conversion stories, and they're often these really exciting, like, blockbuster movies, you know, like the action stories, and someone gets, like, rescued from a really bad situation. I think that's really cool when that happens, but that's not my story, actually. My story is pretty tame. In fact, if they made it into a movie, it would not have a very high rating. It would not be PG or G. It'd probably be before G. It'd probably have an F for fetus. I was 4 years old when I got saved, so I was really young. But I know that it was definitely real because God's worked in my life ever since then. Like, ever since that point, I've just really seen Him, like, working in my life and drawing me closer to Him. So that's when I was saved.
You were 4?
I was 4.
You were 4 years old. She was a bad 4-year-old. I wanted to answer the so what question that I think a lot of people need to hear today. Did I skip a question?
You did. You did.
I did skip a question. You're right. Or maybe I wanted to change the questions around a little bit. No, I forgot. Chelsea was very little, very young when she started following Christ, and David not so young. But I wanted to ask both of them to say, what happened? Was there a time when it became real to you? They said, okay, this is a real thing. Because a lot of people think follow Christ, and they claim that label that's really not clicking with them. But when did it really start to click for you? Okay, here we're back on track now.
Well, I can't really say there was like one like epiphany moment, like, oh, and the angels, and this is it. You know, like I didn't have like one specific moment when I was just sure, but God definitely revealed that to me. And I can put like a time when I was an early teenager and I was at camp one summer, and I just kind of realized for the first time that God really wants like this personal thing with me. And I think it was something I had heard before, but it really became real to me, like, oh man, when I'm like singing these worship songs, like I'm actually singing to a person, you know, somebody who I really love. Like that was a really cool realization for me. And so it was exciting for that to happen instead of just being like, I go to church because it's fun and it's the right thing to do and I like my parents. You know what I mean? It became something that was like real for me and that I just really truly like loved because I loved God. So.
That's great. By the way, I hope you noticed Chelsea's shirt. She's tweaked it a little bit just because she didn't want to be what?
Redundant.
Redundant.
Obviously, I agree with myself.
Chelsea, I just thought of a great question.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I almost asked it a while ago, but I'm going to save it for now. Okay? Because I want to ask the so what question. Okay? It just came to me. But what I want you to share, though, is to answer that question. So it's the so what you follow Christ. What kind of difference is that making in your life? I know a lot of people who call themselves Christians. I don't see any difference between them and me. I just don't. Why would you continue to follow Christ? What has Jesus done in your life that has made you continue to follow Him since you were 4?
Thank you for your very off-the-cuff question. I guess it's a hard question to answer because there's just so much to say. Like I think it's cliche to be like, oh, it has changed everything in my life, but it really has. Like I think that like walking every day with Jesus really has changed everything in my life. For one thing, like my family, we moved a lot growing up. We moved every 2 or 3 years, and there was just a lot of like transition, and things were always different. And I just really feel like God just really got me through all of that. Like really taught me how to depend on Him. Like my first instinct is kind of to rely on myself, you know, and try to do things myself. I think a lot of us struggle with that sometimes. So it was really cool to just experience, you know, just giving it out, like laying it down and having, you know, someone else to carry you. But another thing that's been a really big deal in my life is that I'm a firstborn child, and I am like a stereotypical perfectionist. Are any of you guys perfectionists? I'm sure some of you are. Oh my gosh, I think you're lying. So it's, and you're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal, perfectionist, whatever. But I mean, at some points in my life, that actually has been a pretty big deal because, I don't know, like, it's really difficult when you're just always, you know, trying to be better and, you know, never good enough for yourself. You know, it's just a terrible feeling to be like, I'm never actually going to be good enough for myself. You know, and I can remember thinking that. And there were a couple points in my life when I went through periods of time that I was kind of struggling with depression, and it was just like this really dark hole, and it was, you know, hard to see how things were ever going to get better. But I can truly tell you today that, like, God really just brought me through all that and in a really awesome way. It's just really exciting to see that he was working in my life and in those situations the entire time. Like, it's just really, I don't know, exciting for me to reflect back on that now. And I guess there's just a lot of reasons for that. Like, for one thing, I think, we've all heard songs like, oh, Jesus loves me, and we've heard that. Like, we say that kind of flippantly, but to actually, like, meditate on that and think about what that means, like, at one point, when I was just really struggling, I feel like God just really spoke that to my heart, and I just, like, really actually got it in my heart. Like, no, it's not just words, and it's not just a nice sentiment. Like, it's so true, and it's so awesome. Just to think about the fact that, like, man, God really loves me. He loves me so much. Like, he created me, he dreamed me into existence, he's crazy about me. Like, he wanted to be with me so badly that he did what it took to bring me back to him, even though I was his enemy. Like, that's so exciting, and you're like, oh yeah, we've heard that, but like, really think about it. It's so cool, and like, God really just like spoke into my heart, and I just like really realized just that he's just like madly in love with me, and that was exciting. And it just like really got me, like, wow, I'm his creation, and I am beautiful, and he loves me as I am. And so, I don't know, he really got me through that. And also just like, through all that, I realized I've been sitting telling myself all these terrible things, like, I'm just this terrible person, I just really, hate myself, hate being me, and, all these things like that. And then I was, praying, and I realized, like, it's true, but not the way I was thinking it. Like, I am a terrible person. The fact that, like, I do bad things. Like, we're not good people. Like, I'd like to think that, I'd like to think that I'm a really great person, but like, on my own, left to my own self, I'm not. I'm really sorry. And I wish that wasn't true, but it is. And it was just kind of this moment where I realized, like, I'm so sinful. I'm like lower than I thought. I'm just this broken, lowly person. But God's grace is so big as well. Like, as I realized just how sinful I was, I realized how awesome God was. And it's just so cool to be like, wow, I can't be good enough. But that's the point. Like, I can't be good enough. And God doesn't say, like, do all these good things for me and I'll save you. He says, like, I did everything, accept me and follow me. And that's just so awesome. Like, it's so cool for me just to realize, like, yeah, I'm not going to be good enough, but Christ paid the price for me, and now, like, he lives in me, and so he's enabling me to do what I can't. And so that's really exciting. Like, and I can just see, like, I'm working in my life, and him just, leading me and, like, transforming me daily. Like, I'm able to actually, like, really love people, and, I can't do that on my own. I don't think humans are really capable of real love, and so it's just, like, God's definitely working in my life and, like, changing the kind of person I am, and that's just really exciting to me.
About 100 times at least, Chelsea kept saying, are you sure I'm the right person for this shirt? Are you sure I'm the right person for this shirt? And you were. And did you call me Oprah?
I did.
Okay, last thing. You guys got a room full of people here, and some of you might be following Christ, some of you might not be sure what they're doing, or definitely aren't. If you have one last thing to say to them, Chelsea, what would you say?
I would just say that, like, well, I'm glad that I'm following Christ, and that sounds silly, but I want to, like, explain to you what I mean. Like, I just think it's awesome. Like, walking with Jesus every day is awesome. And I'm not just saying that, like, it's not just like a cliche thing. Like, I really feel this. Like, I am so excited to, like, get to wake up and spend every day with God. Like, it's just the coolest thing. And I'm excited that he, like, is leading me and, uses me, and I get to, like, be used by him. That's so awesome. It's just exciting to, like, see him working in my life and in other people's lives. Like, and I really truly have joy. Like, I've experienced that. And I think that, like, following Christ is, like, a really awesome adventure. And it's not always easy, and it's not always fun. Like, I'm not up here to sit and tell you that, like, being a Christian is, like, life's Band-Aid. That's not true. But it's so completely worth it. Like, it's so worth it to be, like, in an intimate fellowship with the God of the universe every day. So I'm just excited. I like it.
If you have questions, you want to talk to somebody about what it means to really follow Jesus, we want to encourage you to hang around afterwards. David and Chelsea are going to be hanging around to be by the merchandise table. Find them. They'll autograph your shirt. They'll autograph a Robbie's C-shirt. Is that cool? Where's Robbie at? I don't know. Lost Robbie. They'll autograph. Robbie, they'll give you an autograph if you want one. Autograph your CDs, shirts, songbooks, whatever. Anyway, but they'll be around. Anybody with a shirt would love to talk to you about what it means to follow Jesus. Give these guys a big round of applause, would you please?